All right, everybody, welcome back to the Xavier Klein Coaching Journey series here on Madden 25. We are now in the off season here for the New Orleans Saints, we fell a little short as far as making it to the Super Bowl, but we exceeded expectations beyond belief by not only being the division leader of the NFC South, but we went all the way to the NFC Championship. We fell a little short. We got a second-year quarterback in Jake Haener taking the reins there along with Spencer Rattler, so the rookie. So now, we have to work through this and figure out how we're going to get this done. Prior to ending the last episode, we were looking at how we were going to make some room to re-sign some players because of the really bad cap issues that our team currently has. So we're going to work through that. We got negative $39.4 million in cap space. A lot of things we have to do here. I'm wondering if maybe we try to trade out of the first round to make some room. We might have to do that to give us some possibilities in the following offseason, and hopefully that works out there. To recap, what happened in the previous Super Bowl here, the San Francisco 49ers win their 6th Super Bowl in the NFL here, beating the Ravens 16-14. I would say the guys that we got have performed quite well. I feel confident in what we're going to do, and I really think, we can continue to strive, but we got some things we have to work on as we head to the re-sign period. So right now we have 20 players that are currently available to re-sign. The issue, we can't sign any of these guys due to the negative $39 million cap space. So what do we have to do? It is time to make some adjustments and make some cuts. I think that makes sense here with what we have. We got to make those choices. And the first player that we are going to look at cutting is Derek Carr. He is a 69 overall now. He has dropped quite drastically. When you cut him, it'll save us $30 million with a $20.9 million hit. So we get about $10 million for this year to help us out. There'll be a $10 million hit next year, but we won't have to sweat it at this point. So I think that's a good decision right there. That gives us $5 million in cap space now. Now, what's the next move we got to do? The next move I think we're going to have to do is cut Mr. Alvin Kamara. By doing that, we get $22.4 million in cap space and incur a $6.67 million cap hit this year, which gives us a decent amount of space now. That's about 16 million there to ensure our guys are in a good spot. So I think that again allows us to move forward. So there's 2 veterans I wish we could have kept. We just can't, right? And when you look at some other pieces here, you think about, hey, could we cut somebody like Jamal Williams? And I think that's something that you can do right there, but it wouldn't really do much for us. So those are the things you have to assess along the way. I want to keep a lot of these other players like Rashid Shaheed on this team. I'd like to potentially keep Jawan Johnson. Another guy here I think that can give us some space is Taysom Hill. We'll get about $2 million in cap space this season, which look at that. We got $37.7 million now in cap space. That is huge. Now, are there any other pieces here that we can make some decisions here? I think we can. When I look at some of these guys, I go, man, could we make this move? I thought about somebody like Ryan Ramczyk, but I don't think that's the case there. I think Trevor Penning, he has not really done much for us. If we were to cut him, it really wouldn't be much. I wonder if we can maybe trade him to another team or something like that in the preseason. Cam Jordan, I don't see myself cutting him. We got to keep him. We got to allow that to be a key player for this team because he is definitely important. Now, we got another guy here in Shepard. Shepard never really played. It would free up 7.4 with a 5.78 million cap hit this year. But again, these are pieces that I think you got to make those decisions, cut some certain guys here so that we have an opportunity to move forward, right? And then you're looking at another guy here, Kalen Saunders. This is another guy that I just don't see really making some room. We're only gonna get about $500,000 in cap space in that one. So we got Boyd, we got Brissy, and we got Fedarian Mathis in the interior line. This now again gives us some room here to really spark some things, right? Demario Davis, he has dropped quite a bit, but I think that's just his age. He's 36 years old, but at least he keeps most of his OVR, man, which is really sweet right there to see. He's an 86 overall guy. Pete Werner is pretty good. Corners, we got guys in good order now. I don't have to worry about that. Tyrann Mathieu, again, that's a leader I'd rather keep onto the team to ensure we're in a good space there. We're going to let Jonathan Abram probably go. We got Groupie for another year. It looks like we got another punter. Headley's 32 years old. What are we doing? Oh, he's a practice squad eligible guy? Well, spy, like, what are we doing? Why would we have two punters there? So I think that gives us room, right? We got about 30 million or so heading into this off season now. And when you see what we got here, 28 million, that gives us some room. So 50-year option there for Chris Olave, 100%. We'll have some space next season. Rashid Shaheed is asking for 30 million, and I think that's more than fair. I'm wondering if we could do that. 10.2 million for the next 3 years. He'll be 30 years old by then. I think that's a fair deal. And Rashid Shaheed has decided to stay with us, so we got 18 million. We will reject the 5th-year option for Trevor Penning. Jawan Johnson will be 28 years old. He doesn't really want to play for us. I am okay with moving on from him. Willie Gay is who I'd like to bring back. He's only looking for a 2-year deal here. I'm wondering if we could, he's looking at $7.8 million. Wonder if I can give him this right here, 8.9, 2 years, perfect. So we now brought back Willie Gay. Peyton Turner's asking for a 1-year deal. He's 26 years old. I'm gonna see if maybe we can give him 2 there, a $2 million deal. And then maybe 4.5. We'll see if he'll take that. Yeah, he's not interested in signing. I totally get it. Who else do we want to bring back? Will Harris, no thanks. Neffy, nope. Udo, I'd bring back mainly. Might have to think about that one. Maybe we move on. Bubba Bolden, no thank you. Around. Okay, I think that's good. So we ended up signing some players here that I'm pretty happy about. We gave up players like Carr and Kamara, but when you look at what we have now for the Saints, you're talking about Willie Gay signing an extension for $15.8 million. Rashid Shaheed, 3 years for $30.6 million. We accepted the 5th-year option for Chris Olave, and then we were able to cut some players to give us that room to allow that to happen. And I think with where we stand right now, we're in a really good spot. So we're going to let 15 players leave the team, which is really tough. That gives us about 47 players heading into stage number 1. So in this series here, it looks like what I can appreciate is there actually are a different group of players that are available right now. In the quarterback group, you got Russell Wilson looking to find a place and a home. I just don't see myself trying to bring him in at this time. I am going to try to find players that are interested in playing. AOC is available. That is a young player that could do some work for us. We could bring in Tyler Huntley if we wanted to. But these are guys that I'll look at in the later stages. How we have it set up right now is active negotiations will be no more than 3, max 3 per eval period, so up to 9 players signed in the first stage, along with 5 per eval period in the second stage and 10 per eval period in the third stage. So, we'll kind of keep working through that. So I'm going to talk through some of these guys here to see what we'd like to do, right? We're hurt now with the running back. We got Jamal Williams, we got Kendre Miller, but we don't really have much after that. Could we bring back somebody like Kamara again? Let's cut him and bring him back. That might be an option for us. He's not asking for a whole lot of money. We got 10 million in cap space. We could do that. Another option we can do is we can bring in a younger wide receiver, running back, like a Hubbard or Akers to kind of help us out along the way. When you look at the wide receiver group, we could bring in a good veteran like Amari Cooper alongside Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. Taj Boyd could be a pretty solid player to have on the team. You're looking at guys like Richie James out there, but no one truly I am pumped about. We're just going to have to look at our depth chart and see where we stand here. Tight ends that are available right now, you got Foster Moreau on the team, and that's pretty much it. So we have to retool this tight end crew and bring in some guys that could step up in a very, very positive way. The O-line isn't necessarily the biggest component on the left side of the line, but we do need to hold down the left guard position. I think we got a young guard available all on his own on the left side, so we might have to bring in some veterans to help us out in that space. The right guard position, I think, is in a good spot, but the right tackle position is hurting. And this is where I know we're probably going to have to draft one, and we're going to have to bring in some other pieces here to help this guy out. So Mekhi Becton is out there, right tackle, but he's somewhat like Trevor Penning. So if we bring him in, we're not going to be able to sign him for too long there. Yeah, I'd love to bring back Peyton Turner if possible. I think getting more interior line, right? We cut Shepard, we cut Kalen Saunders, so the defensive tackle group, maybe we can look at bringing in another veteran in that space. When you look at Marlon Davidson on the right end spot, again, we want to have continued rotation in these areas. But with Willie Gay back onto the team, I'm pretty pumped about that. You got Demario Davis there and P. Werner, so the main guys that are in our linebacker spot are solid there. But look at this, folks. Did you just see that? The guy that I'm hoping we probably blow our wad on is Nick Bolton. Because if you have him there alongside Demario Davis, you're pretty much saying like Demario will be in that spot down the road. But do we pull that trigger now? I'm not quite sure, because if we do that, we won't have any other pieces available. It's pretty much the draft about that. Oh, I saw Trajan Shoyenka. That's a Buccaneer. That would be a fun guy to have on the team. What I want to do is try to look at guys that are in green, because then we can kind of maneuver in that space. The corner spots, I'm not really too worried about. The 1-2 punch now. Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to be playing alongside Marshawn Lattimore now for at least the next couple years, so I don't want to upset that. Alontae Taylor's on the team, and I think he's pretty solid there, so we gotta be cool in that space, and just kind of find some depth. Free safety, Javon Holland would be nice. I just don't think we're gonna be able to do that with Tyrann Mathieu there. Howden's playing amazing, but when you see some of these other guys here, you got to go, can you take a chance? Now Hufunga has got 18 teams interested in him, so I don't think we're gonna be able to get that. But you look at some other guys here, again, it's about trying to find other potential depth pieces. Like Josh Metellus would be pretty sweet. Don't really want to worry about kickers or punters. So that's where we stand there. We'll kind of talk through it along the way on who we're going to pick up. But I'm ready, and I'm interested in seeing our next decisions here. So as we continue to look at our free agents here, one of the things I wanted to do is try to continue to free up more space. I went ahead and looked at the salaries, and it looks like we got a decent amount of guys that we can restructure on players that I can see staying here. Ryan Ramczyk has a couple more years here left on his contract, so I figured we can go ahead and restructure him. We have a solid right tackle. Hopefully he stays healthy, and that helps us out in that space. So we get about $8.4 million this year. Marshawn Lattimore, he's got 2 years on his contract. That's another guy. $7.4 million we'll have this year. Eric McCoy, our center, he's going to free up almost $6 million. Carl Granderson, he's got 3 years on his contract. He's going to give us an additional $4 million this year. So that opens up more opportunities for us to sign more players. So we went ahead and finished our free agency re-signing, and there were some pretty good players that we ended up getting. And we'll kind of talk through each of our signings here and the deals that we made. As you can see, I tried to focus on players that are interested in us. The more that they are interested in us, the more flexibility you have on providing certain contracts to them. So we went ahead and snagged up a player that that's coming over from the Buffalo Bills, Reggie Gilliam. I wanted him because there's a chance that we could rock with him as a fullback for our running concepts, our rushing concepts, but also leverage him as a tight end 3 or 4 if need be. Our running back group, right, is quite young, so I wanted to bring in somebody who's got some veteranship, and this is a guy coming over from the Baltimore Ravens, another winning culture there. I think this is a really good player that can help us out and allow us to kind of leverage Kendra Miller and Jamal Williams and kind of have a really nasty 3-headed monster. We went after Dayo Odeyingbo. I believe this guy is from the Indianapolis Colts. The reason why I went ahead and snagged him up is I felt like this guy could be pretty nasty. He's still young, and that's going to allow us to feel comfortable with that kind of play there. It looks like the CPU made him put him on the block. We would never. Why would you sign a guy just to put him on the block? And then we went ahead and brought back Peyton Turner. I actually like Peyton Turner. I think he's a pretty good player. It's going to allow us to have more versatility, right? We're running a 4-3, so I want my guys rotating, coming in and really attacking when Cam Jordan or Granderson aren't on the field. I wanted to bring in a bridge center just in case something happens to Ruiz. That's a huge factor for me there. So we were able to get some interior line depth there. Tommy Tremble coming over from the Carolina Panthers. He wasn't really leveraged as much as I think he could be, so he might be able to surpass Tommy Tremble down the road. We have Darius Rush, depth piece there. We got some other good corners, so I don't really worry about trying to bring in someone to compete with those guys. I just want to make sure we have depth just in case something were to occur. We brought in a left guard in Chuma Edoga. He's coming over, I believe, from the Jets. I think that's where he's from. He's a good veteran. Oh yeah, he was a Jet, and then he didn't play for like 5 years, and now wow, that's kind of crazy. Now he's on the Saints. So we got him. We went ahead and grabbed Jalen Jones. This is a former Colt, another Colt here. He's a pretty big slot corner coming over. He's a Texas A&M guy. I watched him in college, and I thought he was a pretty good player. He's bouncing around now, and we can work through that. Knowing that we needed safety help, I brought in a veteran in Adrian Amos to help out with the Honey Badger, as well as the other cats that we got there in Howden. So nothing wrong with bringing in a good vet that we can lean on. Depth piece here in Cam Gill, and then I brought a veteran, the red freaking rifle, Andy Dalton, to kind of mentor Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener. So we might draft a quarterback, but we'll kind of play that by ear. So before we head to the draft, I definitely want to think about some of the prospects here that we have currently put in our favorites. I actually like a lot of these guys, and as you can see, we've been kind of scouting some players along the way. First player here, he is a top 5 candidate. Not sure if he's actually going to make it to us, but Tyron Goddard looks pretty solid. Now, he's a top 5 guy, but his talent or his OVR is going to be between rounds 1 and 2. So it's kind of tough there. But I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at a potential difference maker in the linebacking group. I'm looking at some other guys in the linebacking core right there, like Alani Higgins, who looks like he's a round 1 guy that could fall from a talent standpoint. So I am considering this being our first pick if he makes it to us, and that's Connor Rogers. He's got all the attributes that scream elite, and I think with what we have there with the finesse move, having him be a part of the rotation, there's a chance that in some of our edge rush opportunities, Connor Rogers could be a guy that can be a part of certain rush packages there. I like a lot of the guys that I have. When you look at the quarterback range, there's a guy here that I think I'm going to end up drafting in the 2nd round, and that's our quarterback here, Brad Watson. He's a scrambler. A accuracy, B medium. He's a smaller guy, 6'1", 217. But the way I look at it is having a player like this being mentored by Andy Dalton, allowing the other guys to kind of step up, right? In Jake Haener, who led us to the NFC Championship, or Spencer Rattler to kind of get mentored under Andy Dalton. Like, we're going to have some room to create a very, very solid quarterback core for the Saints. The halfback group, there really isn't much here. I haven't really focused on anybody. There was only one guy that I had on my list, and that was Mr. Parrish. Kevin Parrish, he's a round 1 guy, projected to be in the 3rd or 4th round. I looked at Kevin Parrish mainly because he's a big dog. We have Jamal Williams, who's not going to be here forever. So when I look at a player like Kevin Parrish, he's got a 4.45 at his college day, 4.52. So you average it out, he's under sub 4.5, which is nice. You get an opportunity to make it work here, and he's a strong guy, and that's my hope right there. Like, he's going to continue to kill it. Again, we're going to really find some really nice players down the road. I was looking at some no wide receivers. I don't see myself drafting a wide receiver. I have a ton, and we'll talk to the practice squad guys that are going to have an opportunity to start, man. It's going to be really fun here. But I am looking at some tight ends. You got a guy in Joseph McCullum, who's a 2nd/3rd round guy here. Speed, strength, all great combination there. So we will start looking at, or potentially looking at, some tight ends here. Connor Witherspoon, more of a possession blocking tight end, which I'm kind of pumped about right there. You're also looking at Spencer Allen, another possession guy, 6'5", 246. So, you know, we're going to keep working through that. The tackle range, there's some guys here that I'm looking at, like a Gordon Richards. These are depth guys that we will probably look at snagging up either in the free agency market or bringing them in the late round draft pick. I've been scouting some guys, hoping these guys make it work, but look at this. We're finding some gems along the way. Evan Rudolph could be a ridiculous find. A left guard, which we do need. I could see myself potentially grabbing him also early in this draft. So we have options. That's the thing we got to remember here, is we do have options. I can't really complain with some of the guys that we are scanning. We always have to remember, like, we got to continue to keep bringing in players on that O-line to help with some of the issues that we may have in the free agency market, because next season we'll have the cap, but I don't necessarily want to throw all my cap at it next season. I'd like to kind of keep it healthy for the Saints before we move on to another team. But as you can see, all the favorites there, all the hearts on the left side, these are all players that I am scanning that I feel like could be some decent pieces for us. Left outside linebacker is a focus. As you can see, it looks like we could find some really nice gems along the way. Even find a potential gem in the 3rd round. There's even one guy here, it looks like that's a day 3 guy in Kareem Watson, as well as Paul Brooks, that we can grab and maybe take advantage of that. There's a middle linebacker that's round 1-2 value here, that's in the 2-3 range. Maybe we can snag him up. That would be pretty sweet. But you know, we're finding talent all over the place. There's a right outside linebacker in J.R. Jenkins that looks pretty solid. There's a Matt Strong that's got 1-2 value there. That's freaking sweet. You got some day 3 guys here that are projected UDFAs. Like, I can't be upset with any of these moves. The corners, this is a guy who I was actually scanning during the season, and I cannot believe this, but Tyrone Moore could be our 1st round pick. Outside of the linebacker option, Tyrone Moore could be the guy we draft first. He's got top 5 talent, B zone coverage, A man coverage. Again, we don't necessarily need a corner, but it's very key to allow us to really strive. And how sweet would that be if he made it to us there. Free safety range, there isn't anyone too crazy, but I am looking at a couple guys in the free safety spot. Strong safeties also as well. So, you know, we'll kind of continue to play by ear. There's a punter I was looking at in Richardson. Don't know if we're going to need that, knowing we have Turk. So, you know, we could bring him in, but I'm really not too concerned there if for some reason we can't pick him up. So we'll continue to play it by ear, but I'm looking forward to this draft. As a reminder to all of you, when you do the draft, do not, I repeat, do not turn off the draft timer. If you turn off the draft timer, you will not be able to stop the clock. Like, it'll show that it's stopped, but it won't stop, which means when you try to dialogue what you're thinking when making videos, it will auto draft players. So just remember that. That is a key thing here. Do not allow yourselves to deal with the pain that I dealt with already. Okay, so let's get to it. We are a late pick in this draft, so I'm excited for this one. Let's get it going here. So the first pick in the draft is up, and it is the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers, Vikings, Giants, Patriots, and the Browns are the top 5 picks. Let's see what happens here. So the first pick in the draft is going to be, looks like Chris Sykes. Let's see what the commissioner has announced. It's a big guy here. He's got to be a defensive lineman. No way this guy's a quarterback, right? Maybe Ben Roethlisberger or Donovan McNabb kind of size, but I'd be pretty shocked here if that was the case. It is a left tackle, so I totally agree. They got Joe Alt. They got Rashawn Slater, but those, like Rashawn Slater, has injury concerns, and you're also looking at issues with Joe Alt in his rookie year too. He's also gotten hurt, so not a bad play there. Coming up next is going to be right end Jacob Sanchez. Nothing too crazy right there. The Giants are up, and the Giants are going to take quarterback Jake Herbert, projected to be a top 5 pick. Giants make their move, draft a quarterback. Interesting call there. The Patriots are up. They're going to take a left outside linebacker in Tyron Goddard. The Browns are up, and they're going to take Jaron Fitzgerald. So not too bad there. We're going to go ahead and just skip this and get us to our pick. Knowing this is not a real draft class, I kind of want to just see where everything stands here. Looks like you got J.R. Jenkins getting snagged up, Eli Robertson, some tackles, a good mix of draft picks there I can see. Let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and look at what options we have here. So Lawson is still there. He's projected to be a 1-2 talent as far as overalls are concerned. You got a free safety here that is a round 1 guy. So we could take the free safety at this point and roll with it. You got some other guys here, some guards that could fit what we're trying to do here in this space. We could snag up the corner now, right? He's 54th ranked. The chances of him coming back to us are probably not good. You get a corner there, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Marshawn Lattimore. You got the heir apparent in that space. We could grab a middle linebacker right now if we really wanted to. That could be a good decision for us. So when you look at some of these pieces here, you have to think about, hey, is it time to pull the trigger? And I think for us, you might have to make that choice there sooner than later. Now, there is a quarterback in the next round that's projected to be in that round. I think we're going to end up doing that. But you got to go best player available here. We don't really need anybody crazy. We could get a left outside linebacker to play depth, but we don't really need him right now. And I'd rather have talent kind of grow along the way with this series here. So we're going to take this guy. It could be a little bit of a reach in the eyes of other players, but we've scanned this guy and check it out, folks. A+, he's ranked number 4 overall in true value, and we drafted him at 29. Consistently shows high-level instincts, sticky in man coverage, rangy and effective in zone coverage. So we're going to see this guy play during the preseason, give him an opportunity to kind of get some looks there. And I think I'm really happy to see a player like Tyrone Moore with the Saints. That's a good move. We don't really have to do much. That we were close to the Super Bowl already, and Kool-Aid McKinstry showed up. Marshawn Lattimore was, I think, a top 2 or top 3 player in interceptions in the league. So all our guys are doing well there. So Tyrone Moore does not have to be the superstar immediately. We're going to continue to advance here, get ourselves to the next pick, kind of see where we stand here. And we have an early pick. Because we traded some players, Paulson Adebo, we were able to snag up a very, very early pick in the 2nd round. And I am super pumped about this one here. knowing that we have the ability to, we snag the best player available there, there is an opportunity to snag up some guys here that could fit with what we want to do. And we could grab the middle linebacker here in Sheldon Adams. Now, will the quarterback make it to us? That's the question here, right? The quarterback in Brad Watson. You got some other guys that are second three. You got another guy that's a round one guy. Can Brad Watson make it to us? Maybe. But I do want to make sure we start grabbing, the defense in places that it makes a whole lot of sense. Looks like the outside linebacker spots, you could get Mr. Matt Strong. He's got a tackle, a pursuit. Looks like his physicals were also pretty solid across the board. This guy's considered a round one talent and fits with what we want. So we don't necessarily have to grab him now, but this could be interesting play here. I think I would like to take the middle linebacker, and that is Spencer Adams. He's got B block shed, B zone coverage. His speed is there, change of direction, all of it screams amazing. I think this is what I would like to do for the 33rd pick overall. And, trading Paulson and Devo sucked, but we had to do it. And then we also traded away Chase Young for like a late round pick too. So I'm pretty happy about that. Xavier Klein's getting some cheers right here, but snagging up a middle linebacker, the future middle linebacker for the Saints. It says B-, 24th ranked in True Value. We drafted him at 33. It says B-. Not quite sure how you can get a B- when you actually grabbed a guy that was more valuable than the pick that we had him, but that's what it is there. We continue to keep it moving. Other guys getting snagged up here, and this is where, right, we have another second round pick. You don't hesitate. You snag the QB that has true value here. He's a scrambler. He doesn't have to start. The way I look at it with the guy like this is there's an opportunity for you to get real comfortable in this area. We let Dalton kind of talk to him, kind of work through it with him, and I think this is a very good player for us for the future. So Brad Watson, welcome to the team here. They're saying Brad Watson is a 49th in True Value. We drafted him at 61. Stays calm when throwing under pressure. Wide receiver speed at QB. Elite intermediate accuracy. All of that is amazing. So glad we got him. I'm actually pretty pumped about that. We actually have a pretty solid board that I'm noticing right now. We're gonna head to the third round here. We don't have a pick until pick number 93, folks. And this is where I have to consider, right? What is this going to be like here? We could snag up a corner if we really wanted to. There really isn't anybody, it looks like, that is of value to us that has been scanned. So, we could grab another corner if we wanted to. If we look at the favorites here, where are the projections for everybody? Left outside linebacker that I was looking at, Wiggins, ends up being more of a UDFA, unfortunately. We could grab a free safety here in Tayshawn Matthews, or a strong safety in Christopher Mayweather. I am looking at Eric Hitchcock as well. He's got decent range here. It is one of those pieces that oh man, this guy is slow, dude. 4.76. But here's the thing, Kyle Hamilton had a really bad a class as well, so we have to understand that. We could grab a left end in the speed rusher here that looked pretty solid. He's strong. Yeah, he's a pretty good athlete here. We can set up for some depth in this piece. He's got B finesse. I'm kind of cool with that. I'll roll with it. Let's see what we can get here in Alex Gresham. Kamish talking to him. I don't know what's up. I think you gonna be a good dude here in New Orleans. Raymond Klein talking to his staff. They're saying, hey man, I think we did good. Does this mean we actually hit on a player or something? Like, what kind of presentation is this? C minus, 137 in true value. We drafted him at 93. Struggles to break free when engaged. Getting stronger is a must. Well-planned rush approach with arsenal of finesse moves. So, you know, we're going to roll with certain pieces like this. You're not always going to hit on everything, and it's okay. But the way I look at it is with someone like Alex Gresham, we're good to go. We got another pick here. Oh, yeah, we swapped picks. That's what we did with some of these trades, is we swapped picks. And just traded like a future pick down the road. Ooh, man. Xavier Klein is doing the finesse. What do we got here? Who else is out there right now that is available to us that could really make some moves? I don't know if there's really anybody within this range, right? We're pick number 4. There's still a wide receiver out there in J.R. Zimmerman that is yet to get picked up. That's a projected round 1. You got a Chad Carr. That's another guy. LaMarcus there. I just don't see myself trying to do that at this time. You got Tayshawn Matthews, a free safety here. I'd like to think through that. I'm actually quite shocked that I thought I had some, unless they already got snagged up. Maybe that was it. So the quarterback situation's in order. Everyone else that's available in a lot of these positions are gone. Oh yeah, the tight end group that were all in the 2nd and 3rd round doesn't look like they're around anymore. I thought I would have some guards. Wow, so it looks like a lot of the other guys were also looking at tackles. You know what, though? I have a ton of left outside linebacker guys. Wow, the linebackers were all snagged up. Holy hell, dude. They must have did the scan themselves, too. Incredible. Okay. All right. I think the free safety is probably a good choice there for us. As far as the favorites are concerned here. Tayshawn Matthews, a free safety. It isn't necessarily a guy that we have to leverage now. We could probably move him into strong safety zone here. Decent hit power. Tayshawn Matthews is a guy I'm looking at as a potential pick here, as well as the strong safety. We looked at Merriweather. Oh, let's check out Eric Hitchcock. Is he the one? Yeah, Hitchcock is a slow one. So let's check out Merriweather. Is Merriweather a better pick? Yes, he is. So we're going to go ahead and grab him. Christopher Mayweather is up, and he's a D, 261 in true value. We drafted him at 97. Oh, my gosh. Okay. All right, I see what you did there. We're going to move on, get ourselves to round number 5. We got 2 5th-round picks there. I don't know if we necessarily need to use these picks here. I think there's a chance where we could probably trade one of these guys. Maybe we can trade this pick here, get ourselves some picks next season. So we can get a 6th round this year, 6th round and 7th round next year from the Bills. We can get a 6th this year and a 7th next year from the Vikings. The Saints will give us a 6th, a 7th, and a 7th next year. Or if anyone would give me a little bit more stuff on the future. The only one that would give me something a little bit more would be the Bills. We'd probably flip the 6th round pick as well, so I'm cool with that. So we're going to go ahead and make that trade, give us a chance to move back a little bit. Let's see what they did. Who did they end up snagging? Peter Kaplan, defensive tackle. We got one more pick here in the 5th round. And I don't know if we necessarily need a guy, right? Like, I don't think so. I think we're actually kind of good where we're at. I'm actually really surprised I don't have anybody that's... Unless all my day 3 guys are gone already. How incredible would that be, huh? There's one more. Yeah, I got one more there. I got 2 there, so we can get some late round guys in that space. The DT space is killing me. I don't know if we necessarily need one here. Lawrence Canty is not bad, 6'1", 299. He's actually decently strong. Kind of wish... yeah, these are all UDFA guys. Really isn't anybody in this area here that I would be too pumped to have. Unfortunately, there isn't. No, there really isn't anybody that screams amazing. O-line got snagged up very quickly here. There are some tight ends. There's a blocking tight end, 6'5", 258, Robbie Young. The day 3 guy. More acceleration. More of a blocking guy. You know, maybe we can wait on that a little bit more. The wide receiver spot, though, is kind of strange. J.R. Zimmerman, 6'1", 195. Not the fastest guy. He's a little smaller. And, but kind of wiggly, it looks like. He just doesn't have... Dude, everything about J.R. Zimmerman screams like crap. That is not good. That is horrendous. We got big target here in LaMarcus Andrews, 6... No. We got A.T. Perry too, so I don't really want to do that. I think we're got to be okay with another trade back. You know, we just continue to accumulate picks. So the 5th round is where we will probably defer. And let's see what we can get here. 2026 5th. 2026, 2025 6th, 2026 5th, along with a 6th this year. I think the Eagles one is probably the better fit for us. Actually, the Raiders isn't bad. I'll take the... Actually... Yeah, I'll do the Eagles. I think the Eagles is probably a better one. So we get out of the 5th, and we're okay with that. I think we just got to continue to look for pieces there. We got 3 picks in the 6th round here. And again, right, we continue to just kind of grab some pieces that could work out for us. I just don't, like, what do we really need? We need a guard. I'd say a DT, right? So is there a DT here that fits with what we need to do? I think the DT wouldn't be bad. You got, I think, Canty, power rusher, speed rusher. Yeah, I think I'm okay with trying to grab Canty, B power move, snag him up, and that is going to be 313 in value. So these late round picks not doing so good for us, folks. But you got to be okay with that. I think we're going to be all right. Let's see here. There were some outside linebackers that I probably want to snag up now because they actually were decent value, or they were day 3 finds here. So let's look at Kareem Watson. 483. Oh my gosh, that is horrendous. His OVR is gonna be better. Let's look at Brooks. Paul Brooks, 6 foot 238. He's more of an athlete. I'll take that one. Let's see what they got him saying. 161 in true value. We drafted him at 187, a C+. It says bad pick. Average speed for a linebacker. Power moves are often thwarted. Good awareness and reaction as a defender. So that isn't that bad. I don't think there's anything wrong there. We just got a lot of picks, man. My goodness. I didn't realize we'd have these many picks. How many are left on my favorites, by the way? How many are there? We actually got a decent amount of favorites. The issue is, there isn't too many that I'm super pumped about. We got here Derek Neighbors. He is weak as hell, dude. Derek Neighbors is probably a free safety or strong safety. Based on what I'm seeing here, we might be able to say he's more of a strong safety guy. He's fast as hell, but he's not strong. He'll probably be more of a slot guy, I guess, huh? It's not a bad move there. What about Lucas? Marlon Lucas, Tennessee. Not super fast, not super great. That didn't look too good. Not a whole lot of day 3 guys that are within our realm there. Let's look at Winter. Brendan Winter here from Illinois. 4'4", a little stronger. He's actually not that great when it comes to just his... This game does not... You always have to reset the freaking things, dude. That is sad. Oh my gosh. I think this is the guy right here, Tremaine Livingston. We'll take him. See what we got here. 149 in true value. Drafted him at 189. Ranging, effective in zone coverage. Does he have NFL speed? Needs more film room. See it? And that's the thing. Kind of get him in the right spot. Allow him to do his thing. And I actually really like that play. So we snagged up some defensive guys. The offense is not really in the craziest spot. We got one more pick here left in the draft. And like I said, I think our guys have done some good things so far. Do we snag up a guy that's on our list, or do we go after a guy that is currently the best player that's out there? We could snag up one of these corners, but honestly, I would rather just grab a guy here that seems to, for some reason, no one wants him. Now, J.R. Zimmerman, he's got not the craziest speed, but I'm wondering, why don't they want him? We could take a chance on the bigger target here in LaMarcus Andrews. This guy's considered physical at 5'11". Do they just call him physical because he can't run that fast? Is that what's going on there? 6'2", like this guy is more of just a straight vert guy. Yeah, there's a lot of players here that are interesting at this point. I think we will look at a tight end. None of my tight ends that I want are there, but Robbie Young is kind of intriguing to me, and I'll take him. I don't think he's going to be that incredible, 341 in true talent, but serviceable hands, needs to refine intermediate route running, contact often results in no catch. I think there's nothing wrong with having a tight end that could be at the bottom of the list. We can put him on the practice squad, and we got to be okay with that. So not a bad draft. Let's see who else decided to retire here. It looks like Justin Ellis retires during the draft. Ellis has been around in the NFL for a long time. So definitely want to do a draft recap here. What do we got? Who's our guys? And it looks like we actually drafted pretty well. First pick of the draft is Tyrone Moore, right? He was a guy hidden in the 3rd round. He ends up being a top 5 pick, 90 speed, 94 acceleration, 82 man coverage, 77 zone coverage. This guy might compete already for a slot corner spot. We might have put him at slot 2 alongside Alontae Taylor, get him some reps in the interior, and then, you know, have him play a backup corner when need be. But Tyrone Moore is the gem that we found here in this draft. We went after a Sheldon Adams. His overall screamed top pick, but he doesn't have the development trait, which is fine. Sheldon Adams, 91 speed, 91 acceleration, 77 play rec. This is all freaking awesome here. If he does get injured, he will be out a little longer, but 233 is not a bad deal there. You got to be cool about that. And then we snagged up a quarterback here, 73 overall, hidden dev, folks. We found a QB, 91 throw power. He's got to work on some stuff, but check out his speed, baby. 91 speed, 92 change of direction, 88 acceleration. His stamina is going to be kind of rough, but we can work with this. And his personality is entertainer. So I'm actually pretty psyched about that, because you're talking about a guy here. You're talking about a guy here that could really surprise us. So we found some big gems in this year's draft that I think could really shock the world here. So you got to remember that. We got to be diligent with it, but we don't have to necessarily put him in there now, because I think Jake Haener has been playing pretty well for us. So there's no reason to throw him into the fire unless we really have to. We snagged up a left end here in Alex Gresham, 68 overall, 75 finesse move. All that screams pretty good too. So not a bad find in that space. We then didn't draft in the 5th round. We traded back. We grabbed some guys here like Lawrence Canty, who ends up not being such a great player here. I think, though, he's a guy you can develop. We'll have more space there. Probably put him on the practice squad. Most of these guys here on the back end are going to be practice squad players that will develop and kind of work through it. Paul Brooks has some really good burst to him. I'm hoping he continues to kind of work through it. He's got some injury issues we got to be wary of there. I thought the Livingston draft was draft pick was nice. 6 foot, 197, 22 years old, 93 speed, a 90 acceleration, 71 zone coverage. Tremaine Livingston to me feels more like a safety, and wondering if we were to move him to a safety spot, like a strong safety, we could potentially give him more time on the field and see how he ends up rolling there. He ends up dropping to a 65, but I think we can work through that. Unfortunately, our last pick was Robbie Young, and that didn't go so well. He ends up being a 62 overall player. Speed's not there. Nothing screaming amazing, but again, you leverage him, you see what he can do. Maybe he ends up helping us out. We needed another tight end to kind of roll through it. Across the league, I'm not sure if there was anyone too crazy. We can definitely check out who was the best overall player in this year's draft, and it was Alfonso McKinney, the 25th pick in the draft. That was a player I considered drafting. He was on my list, but it just didn't make sense for us to grab a right guard because we had a solid right guard already. It made sense to kind of just move on from that. You look at wide receiver Jerron Fitzgerald, the top 5 pick. That's a good move there. He's a big dude. You're talking 6'2", 232. That's like a big cat. So I think that's a great move for the Browns there. They got Judy. They got Amari Cooper. They got to continue to keep fending that off there. And then we found our guy, Tyrone Moore. The Saints found him. That was a good move. Look at this. The 2nd round, 7th overall pick, Malik German. What a find for them. A great job right there for the Panthers, man. That's a good move on that one. And you gotta be proud of these guys. So I think everyone kind of found some decent players there in the Saints group, right? We got to think about the guys we go against routinely, the Buccaneers. Their best player was right after us, and that was Ryan Walters, a right tackle, which is pretty solid. Good starting, good foundation there at a 72 overall. And then their 2nd round pick, another hidden dev guy, corner. Not bad. Jamal Dean's a very good corner for them, so having some other guys to back him up is not a bad move for them. You look at the Falcons. They end up snagging a top 10. Their top 10 pick was a 73 overall left tackle. Jake Matthews is getting older, so you find a guy that could be the heir apparent for them. And then their strong safety. Great play right there. 74 overall hidden dev. Dude is going to be a thumper, bro. Woo-wee. Falcons doing work on that one. And then they snagged up wide receiver Lamar Little, 6 foot 179, 94 speed. Dude is going to pop off. So pretty good plays there. So it's the Falcons, the Bucks, the Saints, and who's the other team? Panthers. Panthers snagged up top 7 pick, a right tackle, hidden dev. I think that's good for them. They got to try to figure out how to keep Bryce Young upright. But they found their dog here in Malik German that we saw 77 overall. He ends up getting grabbed here. That is a pretty sweet decision right there for them. They ended up grabbing another cat here, free safety Jerry Britton, 75 overall. So their DB group, they're kind of working through that there. I think this right. Oh no, Matt Strong. That's who I wanted, dude. He was on my list. So the Panthers take him. Unreal. Oh, that hurts a lot. I got to deal with Matt Strong in the upcoming season. Now, we wouldn't have grabbed him. Like, based on where we're at in the 3rd round, I would have had to... In the 3rd round, I would have had to decide not take Brad Watson, and I needed to. It was the better decision. I guess we could have taken that corner, but we already grabbed another one. I don't know how many other corners we would need in that space there. So not bad. I think we're in a good spot, right? Like when you look at our team here and where we stand at this point, we're going to be rocking a new playbook. It is going to be the Minnesota Vikings playbook. And then you're talking about receiver guru. So those guys are going to grow. And then you're talking about the defensive back guru. So like our guys are in a really nice spot to continue to train and continue to get it going, man. It's going to be pretty nice for us. We will advance at this time here and see if there are any trades that occur before we turn off the trades and set up the preseason. I don't see myself streaming the preseason too much. I think I'm just going to talk through some of that, but I don't see myself trying to get too crazy at this point with preseason, because preseason is not really that key for me in these things. Looks like some trades did happen. Marquise Bell, Steelers trade Marquise Bell to the Buccaneers. Wow, there was a lot of moves here. So the Steelers trade Marquise Bell to the Buccaneers, and in return, the Buccaneers send strong safety Tiki Smith, a 4th round and a 7th round pick. So they really wanted Marquise Bell. The Ravens go ahead and trade Adisa Isaac. Whoa, that's like a 2nd-year guy. Adisa Isaac and a 6th round pick for Josh Uche. That's not a bad move there. As you can see, those are all our picks during the draft. So those are some pretty good trades. Can't complain, man. I think so far the series is not looking too bad. I'm excited to see how we're going to work out. I'm excited to see my guys kind of blow up. If I do anything for the preseason, it'll be me writing down like potential highlights to grab and kind of say, hey, here are the guys to look out for in the upcoming season. Maybe make some shorts on those and just say, hey, check these guys out. So I'm looking forward to this, man. Hopefully these guys continue to grow. But the Saints are in a really good spot when you look at where we stand here as far as adjustments are concerned, as far as what this team could potentially look like. It isn't bad. I think the O-line with Ramczyk back looks pretty good. I think the quarterback situation is going to be fun. We're gonna see some of these guys kind of get some work out there. I think the wide receiver group is young. Olave, Rashid Shaheed, but we got A.T. Perry, Cedric Wilson, Sky Moore was on our practice squad along with Bub Means there. The running back crew is just gonna be a bunch of misfits kind of trying to do it, but the defense is pretty freaking good for me. We got a good group of guys that have an opportunity to really step up now and really kick butt. Whoa, is Christopher Merriweather was a hidden dev? I did not know. Oh, so that's even better, dude. So we that was a corner that we moved over to strong safety, and I guess what the hell? Okay, all right. So we got him there. We got Moore, who's going to get some opportunities to step up. We got some depth there in the corner position. The D line looks freaking sick so far. So we're going to see how all these guys kind of play together. I'm going to always try to get the best group out there. It'll be nice to see Peyton Turner back in the mix. Foskey, I thought, played pretty well. I wonder, when we set up this line, if we moved Foskey, if we moved Granderson to the interior, what would that look like? But having Foskey there and having maybe Granderson in the interior for the rush packages wouldn't be bad. So we'll retool all this stuff and we'll keep it rolling. But that'll do it for us today, everybody. If you like what you saw, please drop a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think. And most importantly, subscribe to keep up with the series. This team is not looking too bad. The overall isn't that crazy, but I'm not worried about overall. It's about how do we ball out with the guys that we got. So I'm going to look at how much players I got left and maybe sign a couple guys, but we got 67 players on the roster. I'm not sure if we need to do much more than that. Maybe some practice squad guys. But appreciate everyone that stopped by today. And as always, or for now, let's go Saints. Have a good one.